What's up, guys? This is a video that was one of the first I was going to do on a documentary series where the theme was that of forgotten fighters. Boxers who, for whatever reason, had been either forgotten by history or fighters that we know very little about. Now, whether Michael Dokes belongs on a list like this is debatable, as most hardcore fans from the 1980s know about him, but I think a lot of fans may have forgotten how good he could have been. So stay tuned for a look back at Michael Dynamite Dokes.
Temptations every day, if you want to look at it like that, but I don't see nothing that I haven't done. Drink Cristal. I used to drink 10 bottles a night. Lafitte, 1966. Blow, I used to do ounces, quarter ounces. Parties, I used to throw the biggest bags. The Great Gatsby didn't have parties as good as I had. Women, I've been through them, actresses, models, call girls, it's what, a Rolls Royce, I had them, houses, I had them, it's just nothing that I haven't tapped, you know what I'm saying?
When boxing experts discuss who had the fastest hands in heavyweight history, the name of Michael Dokes usually is among those first mentioned. He started his boxing career at the age of 12, and within 5 years became one of the most accomplished amateurs in the country. He traveled to tournaments to fight alongside future Olympians such as Leon Spinks and Sugar Ray Leonard. One of the highlights of his amateur career would include this AAU title-winning effort against Woody Clark and a defeat of fellow prospect Greg Page and John Tate. Turning pro in 1976 at the age of 18, Dokes would be featured on ABC's Wide World of Sports against Muhammad Ali in an exhibition match. Ali clowned and showboated throughout, but viewers couldn't help but notice the fast hands of his determined foil. Dokes would win 15 fights in a row before taking on the once formidable Jimmy Young. Young was 15 pounds over his best fighting weight and was outpointed by the younger, hungrier Dokes. But signs of Dokes' own lack of discipline would be apparent in a disputed draw against the much smaller Ossie Ocasio. Dokes would avenge the poor showing 2 months later by smashing the future cruiserweight titleist in 1 round.
I've become more mature mentally as well as physically in dealing with a lot of situations and circumstances. Boxing has made me very patient and just waiting my time, and with patience you get it all.
By 1981, Dokes was considered to be the heir apparent to Larry Holmes' heavyweight crown alongside Greg Page and Jerry Cooney. He took risks his fellow prospects didn't, taking on the dangerous Randall Tex Cobb in a nationally televised bout.
So I think it's the day of judgment, not for myself because I don't need no self-approval. I'm convinced, I'm confident, I'm cocky, I'm whatever the people want to say. But I think it's the day of judgment for the people to analyze me, to make their deduction or their conclusions and say, well, hey, this guy can fight.
Dokes would outpoint Cobb in a rugged battle. In his next bout, Dokes would put on his most impressive showing to date, and perhaps his career, when his firepower took out the tough John L. Gardner of Britain.
Oh, beautiful combination, setting him up with 2 left hooks, a right, a left, a right, left again. Remember, Gardner has never been stopped, but he is down.
Now angling for a title shot, Dokes stayed busy, fighting another spoiler opponent in George Chaplin, and in his HBO debut, he made a favorable impression with the first-round stoppage of Lynn Ball.
And a right hand drops Ball, and I mean drops him right now. Do not call that a knockdown. They call that a slip, and now, once again, that one is a knockdown. First one looked very much like a knockdown to me.
Well, that was Ball missed a wild left hook and got hit with a right hand the first time.
Saw a pretty good left hand to the stomach that time, as we have about 10 seconds left, and a lot of right hand right on the button.
You found a punch from someplace. You're knocking everybody out. What's happened?
Well, I wish you wouldn't disclose that information right now, Doctor. And as far as my punching is concerned, I really have no logical answer for it. Just maturity and confidence and cultivating my twos, and along with everything else, is probably a great cause of it all. I'm defending my North American belt, which is very significant in my career right now, and I have to be up for these type of fights, and you know, I took it.
In other words, you don't take any of these fighters cheap.
Oh, you can't, because at this position I'm in at number 2 in the world, number 3 in the other division. You can't afford to take anybody lightly, because I end up at the bottom of the barrel again trying to fight back to the top, and it's just nonsense to jeopardize myself like that.
And he put his hand right up there. He didn't like to get hit there.
Left hook by Dokes, and Thomas is down. Thomas says he's all right. Dokes anxious to spring out of the corner. Here he comes. And the combination by Dokes, looking to end it here in round 5.
Dokes took a deep breath. He got himself tired doing that. Too much time left in the round for Thomas to survive, unless he's got an awful lot of iron in his legs. You look like you were getting a little
I hadn't sparred in 10 days, Freddie. I had a little injury occur in camp, and I couldn't spar for 10 days. I couldn't turn down King down. The man has did wonders for me, and also my manager called King. He said, go ahead, take the fight.
Right.
And also for NBC, Miss King, my mother, Lillian, I love you all.
You were my first fight on NBC. And
Exactly,
you
2 years ago, January.
You did it then, and you did it this time.
Well, Freddie, what you think, huh? You think I improved any?
You sure have.
Me, I'm a little humble guy, and I really don't want to...
Humble is nowhere in the building with you. Humble I haven't seen in the building with you or this man, Don King, here.
Well,
where are you going with this guy?
This guy's going for a championship. There's nothing to stop him. I think Dynamite Dokes has improved. He's a tremendous competitor. He's a great fighter, and I think that we owe a great debt of indebtedness to you, because you are the man that's really taking over television boxing, Dr. Bernie Pacheco, and we love you.
Lighten up, lighten up.
Well, man,
Let me say, I'm saying, where did you find the punch? Please just tell me that. I want to go get some.
We call it Dynamite.
It's something that's been with me for a long time, Freddie. I come out the amateur with an outstanding knockout record, and then I came into the pros. I had to cultivate my talent, my tools, get my balance together, talk with Bobby Lewis,
Bill present. They cultivated my style. Now I'm older. I'm 23. I'm a full-fledged heavyweight now. And so now it's just all falling together. It was nothing like it was never there because my speed and agility is my best asset. I'm still not a puncher, Fred. I'm still not a puncher. I'm afraid of Weaver. I'm afraid of Holmes. Cooney, you swear to God, I'm afraid of you.
Well, we're ready to see you in heavyweight championship action this coming year because I don't think they can hold you back.
I hope it's back on there.
This nationally televised knockout of journeyman Franco Thomas would be Dokes' final tune-up before he would take a crack at Mike Weaver's WBA heavyweight title. Weaver was a physically powerful fighter with a Herculean physique, but he had been an active champion and had a bad habit of starting slow in his fights. This strategic weakness would play right into the hands of Dokes, who had perfected the art of the first-round blitz.
That he's a boxer and that he's been in the ring since he's a youngster, whereas Weaver has come very late to boxing.
And the pace starts very quickly, and that is what we expected. I know it's what you expected, but good shot by Weaver.
I was not surprised at all, Brad, because I figured Dokes would come out fast because Weaver here is cold. No preparation.
There goes Weaver down for the left hand by Dokes in the very first round. And he is hurt. There's no question about it, he's hurt.
Well, he came out once again dry. There was no perspiration between. He didn't warm up in the back.
Dokes is right on, and Weaver covers up. This is the first round. Dokes hammers him with both hands. And Weaver's holding on to the ropes in deep trouble. Plenty of time left. Dokes is just measuring his man. And a left hand scores. Joey Curtis separates the two. And that's it. Just like that, this one is over.
At the age of 24, Michael Dynamite Dokes had become the heavyweight champion of the world. But the early stoppage by referee Joey Curtis cast a shadow over Dokes' victory. Fans and commentators alike were suspicious of Don King pulling the strings and protested that the fix was in. A rematch was ordered, and a controversy of a different kind would emerge. This go-around, Weaver would weather Dokes' early round barrage and take Dokes into the championship rounds. He would outwork the new champion, and the bout was declared a draw. But many ringsiders believed Weaver had regained his belt by 1 or 2 points. Winning the title seemed to propel Dokes into a downward spiral. He gained weight and trained only intermittently. Then his legal troubles began to mount, and he was arrested for driving recklessly and for impersonating a
Cannot be saved by the bell. It's over, and we have a new WBA heavyweight champion of the world. And
Dokes would later admit that he trained for the fight snorting cocaine and drinking Jack Daniels. His career looked to go into a free fall as he struggled against journeyman Mike Jamison and his old foe, Randall Tex Cobb. His career in life looked to be in shambles, as he would be arrested for cocaine possession and charged with resisting arrest. Sent to prison, Dokes would stay out of the ring for almost 3 years until he came back in December of 1987. The road back was hard as Dokes gained a considerable amount of weight and looked unrecognizable from the muscular athlete he was only a few years earlier.
But failure now, a loss now, might set you back even farther, might maybe end your career.
Well, I'm not even pessimistic about it. At this point, I can't see losing because I'm in better shape than I ever was in my career. I'm more stable in my life than I ever was now. And as far as my ability is concerned, I feel better about my progress and my tools than I ever did before. I have a defense now which I never had before. I used to work on just reflexes. My power is there now, which I felt I had before, but it's basically speed. So with those two, I just losing never entered my mind.
What message do you have for fans who watch you and remember you as the heavyweight champion?
Be patient. Time will come again. All shall pass, good and the bad. So I'll have my chance again.
Dokes' words would prove to be prophetic as he would go on a 5-fight win streak and work himself into shape. There was talk of him fighting Mike Tyson, but his management team opted for another opponent, Evander Holyfield. It was a fight that few experts gave Dokes a chance at winning. Past his prime and counted out, Dokes would give the best performance of his career.
Dokes has opened up differently this round, going to the head, building up an early lead, and punch after punch rains on Holyfield without an answer. If this fight goes beyond 4 or 5 rounds, stamina will begin to play a role. Well, that's what Dokes is counting on with his early attack. Hard attack to the head of Holyfield, who's not fighting back. He's standing still, taking these shots from Dokes, and that can't be good, folks. Holyfield looks a bit frustrated. Not only frustrated, he looks tired and he looks a little hurt. He's been tagged. He has been rocked by Michael Dokes. Here in the third. Dokes switching to the head has surprised Holyfield, who's taking big shots. Combination by Dokes. Neither man leading in this round. Good shots by Dokes. Catching Holyfield on the ropes. That's a good strategic move by Dokes. He should be using that big weight to maul and confuse and frustrate. Oh, he's gotten hurt. To the head. Holyfield hurt. He's got Holyfield in some trouble here. He landed to the face. Holyfield winced from that shot. Maybe got a thumb in the eye. But his legs went wobbly. He's back now. But boy, for a split second there, it looked like it was bye-bye time for Holyfield. Dokes continues to use the pressure lead. Uppercuts to the head. Snapping Holyfield's head back. Now Holyfield turns Dokes around. But Holyfield comes back with an uppercut. It's 65. Again, unofficially, this has been a ding-dong battle. Remember, one of those rounds could easily be a 10-8 round as they took a point away from Dokes. Now Michael Dokes on the attack. Dokes to the left, but Holyfield may have blocked it. Dokes senses something now, perhaps. Yeah, Holyfield not in the best shape of his life just now. Holyfield may be in some trouble. Every time he gets him on the ropes, that superior weight, that pulling and pushing takes right hand. Twisting right by Dokes. A combination by Dokes. Holyfield comes back with the left. Holyfield coming back with everything he's got. A lot of guts to Holyfield because he's been hammered. He's throwing everything in those punches. And they are landing.
Dokes became a victor in losing the fight with Holyfield. He regained the respect he had lost from fans with his valiant effort and continued to speak on his ongoing battle with drug addiction.
It was pretty bad. It was a matter of either change or die. It was to that extent. My usage was pretty severe. Ounces. I was buying kilos at a time and staying up for maybe 6-7 days straight. I had went from like 240 pounds down to about 190. My habits had changed, my eating habits, and I had lost control of my life.
He's fearless. He knows no fear. He always possessed a tremendous amount of natural ability. Fast hands, fast-moving legs, fairly good puncher, always took a good punch.
The public itself respects me more now than even when I was champion of the world. And that means more and carries a lot more value to me than fighting for the title.
Dokes was now a spent bullet. He returned to fighting journeyman and waited to see if he could score one more big fight.
I'm not fighting for money this time. Money is fine. Don't get me wrong. Money's not the most important thing, but there's nothing more important. Don't get me wrong, but you know, once you attain the money, you lose your incentive. You become lackadaisical. You become content. I'm fighting for self-esteem, respect now, my integrity. These things last long after money. George Washington is dead, but he's on a dollar bill because he had the respect and the integrity to live long after his death. And these are the things that I'm working towards now. I just don't think I could do it for the money this time.
Razor Ruddock was the newest power-punching heavyweight on the scene. Dokes started well in the bout, but in the end, he would be little more than a notch in the younger fighter's belt.
Oh, good counter right by Dokes.
Right now, Ruddock is fighting the wrong fight, not using his legs at all.
Good left hook. Dokes went down to the second straight. Dokes is down, and he may be out. Man, it's all over.
It's all over.
Like most fighters, Dokes continued to box because he knew little else. His restaurant businesses had failed and he had little else to fall back on. 18 months after the Ruddock defeat, Dokes was back in the ring, once again taking on journeymen for little pay in small Las Vegas casinos. He reeled off 10 consecutive wins, all against nondescript opposition, when he was led like a lamb to the slaughter against the new heavyweight champion, Riddick Bowe.
Bowe is stunned by left hook.
That's right. Riddick missing with the big right hand, and down goes Dokes into the ropes. Well, I don't think Dokes went all the way down, but the referee wants to give him what will amount to the first standing 8 count.
That was a very, very fast call. It was Dokes who decided to go out there and fight early like that, though. Wasn't Bowe's idea.
Short left hand inside by Bowe. More than a minute to go in the round. Plenty of time for Bowe to close it out. If he can keep Dokes in trouble, Dokes lands another left hook.
you.